From beautiful Las Vegas, and today it's a little overcast, and I've just been writing my new program, 30x Wealth. I recorded 30x Business. That'll be out in a couple of months. I recorded hang on, let me put the camera, there you go. I recorded 30x Life again. That'll be out in a few months time, and 30x Wealth is the next one. And I thought to myself, you know, it's real interesting when I look at the success level of people, and when it comes to wealth, you know, what's harder, being rich or being poor? What's harder, being healthy or being unhealthy? What's harder, being, you know, and it's a real interesting thought that people seem to think it's harder to be rich than it is to be poor. And I don't find that's actually the reality. I find that the reality is that poverty is actually harder than wealth. Unhealthy is harder than healthy. You know, and it's kind of like this whole thing. And so it led me to the thought of, well, what is the job in life? What is the job of an actual human being on this planet? What is our job? And I always said it very simply. Your job is to be the best you that you can be. How do you become the best you? See, would the best you be fit and healthy? Would the best you have good relationships, long-term friendships, and you know, would the best you raise good kids or great kids? Would the best you be watching stupid TV all the time and Bravo channel, dumb whatever that stuff is, or would it be reading some books or learning something or having conversations with people, you know, hanging out with your kids? Or it's all about what would the best you do. And it's like, if you come to almost every decision, whether what would the best you do in this scenario or what would the best me do in this scenario, I think that it's pretty easy to live a great life. You know, it's an interesting challenge, this thing called life. It didn't come with a user manual. It didn't come with a how-to instruction book. And you got to learn life while doing it, and you got to learn money while doing it. That's why, you know, it's always been said the first million's the hardest million. Why? You got to learn how to do it and do it. Your first business is the hardest business because you got to learn how to do it and do it. And so the interesting challenge for many of us is that, the camera keeps flipping. The interesting challenge for many of us is that we take it on board and we sort of learn X, and then we say, okay, I've learned enough, therefore I can stop and just live life the way I want to live life. When the point of life is to keep learning and keep growing so that there's many different experiences you have. And oh, thanks for typing in where you're at, gang. Type in wherever you're at. I love to see where you're at from around the world. I see that North Carolina, g'day Jason, it's good to see. We're in Namibia again today. New Zealand we got to, a couple of Australians on, many countries, many states across the US, of course. Listen, back to the point of the lesson. Your goal in life is to simply be the best you can be. And, you know, I've always said it, that each year you should grade yourself. How did I do in relationships this year? What grade did I get? Did I get an A or a B? Give yourself a grade in finance. Give yourself a grade in business. Give yourself a grade in health and stuff like that. But it's not just about that. It's about making the decision to actually build a great life, to actually decide, I'm not going to live a mediocre life. I'm not going to live an average life. I'm not going to live, you know, that standardized life. And a lot of people once asked me, you know, why did you move to America from Australia? And yes, I know I've lost most of my Australian accent. And g'day from Brisbane there, Shane. Good to see. Melbourne as well. Listen, I found myself being a big fish in a little pond, and I thought, if I'm going to challenge myself, I need to move to the biggest business part of the world, the hardest, the best, and compete with the best of the best. I mean, there's no use. You know, I'm now a little fish in a big pond. Well, I'm not that little, but, you know, I always see myself as a little fish in a big pond. I live in a city with multiple billionaires who are just even unknown billionaires, and that's kind of a cool thing to think about, that I live in that sort of a city where, you know, there's just challenge everywhere. And so I give it to you today. What's the challenge? Where do you need to grow your life? Where do you need to add more in life? And you know, I'm not perfect, far from it. I just like to do my best as far as I can and help as many people as I can with education and stuff. But you know, I keep reading, I keep learning, I keep studying, I keep working out, I keep eating pretty healthy. Yeah, I do party a little bit, and that's part of, obviously, my Aussie heritage. But anyway, the point is, your goal, best you can be, if this is a good reminder, then fantastic. Say hey. And by the way, if you're on my Facebook or my LinkedIn, I know on Insta, a bunch of you watching me on Insta, wherever you're watching me, shout out and give me a high five. Give me a 5-star rating on Facebook, or give me a shout out on LinkedIn, or wherever you're at. I'd love to see it. Thanks for that. If we're adding value to you, please give us a note that we're doing good. Anyway, your job is to be the best you can be. My greatest mentor ever was Jim Rohn. I got to meet him twice personally, and Mr. Rohn, I've mentioned him many, many times. Mr. Rohn put it slightly differently. He said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you can work harder on you than you do on your job, then, you're going to be a great result. You're going to have great success. So keep working on you. Keep working on creating a great life. Anyway, that's Drive 5 for today. Take care. Bye for now.